When a relationship is over, it's the equivalent of milk being expired. Do you put the milk back in the fridge and expect it to be fresh again? Or do you just toss it and move the fuck on and buy new milk?
What the f is going on?
I like to party.
Jesus, honey, wax much?
This is Unwaxed
Get in, loser, we're going shopping.
with Sophia and Sistine Stallone.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
We had her on once, and that was not enough for us. She is the creator of Let's Fucking Date. The self-proclaimed queen of confidence was just on tour. We have been dying to see it, by the way, so come to LA. And I can't wait to hear what she has coming next. We love this girl, and so will you. This is Serena fucking Kerrigan. Studio audience, round of applause. Yeah. Okay. Wait, can I just say, by the way, I carry your card game everywhere I go.
You're kidding.
Literally, I actually didn't even realize I had it in my bag when I brought it here.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, wait, I should play this.
No, but
it
I
works.
have both.
It is great.
I have like the deluxe version and then the regular version. And I want to get into the card game, but I would just like to mention, if you're an OG listener of the Unwaxed podcast, Serena was on episode 2, the second episode that we'd ever put out.
Ever.
And it still is one of my favorite episodes to
No,
date.
seriously.
You guys were so sweet.
And we're not just saying that.
No,
You
seriously.
gave such good advice. And before you were a confidence coach. Which
Yeah, that was so long ago, guys.
know,
Literally
so
everything's
long
changed
ago,
since.
so
Yeah.
much. I mean, like, you're still the queen of confidence, but you're not the coach anymore.
Right.
But you kind of coach in a way with like your TikTok videos, right?
Yes.
Like, how did you even get in? Are you still trying to coach people?
Well, I
somehow?
mean,
Or,
I
like,
just
how you-
felt like I was doing it on Zoom because I just quit my job, like
Right.
pre-pandy, like 2
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah.
And, I was doing the coaching on Zoom, but then like every single person was asking me the same question. They were upset about the same things. And I was like,
Right.
what if I could just like sum it up in a video, make it
Right.
accessible for everyone?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to gatekeep confidence.
Right.
So that has like worked in my favor. But yeah, that's so crazy. I mean, you guys were so fun. I feel like when I walked in here, I was like, I feel like I know. You're like, we're meeting in person for the first time. I'm like, wait, what?
It's like we've been following each other for so long,
Yeah.
and we've been talking for so long, and just, I don't know if you're DMing, messaging. I was like, this is really weird that this is the first time in person.
I know.
No, I feel like we've known each other for years.
Yeah.
Which
Well, we kind of
technically
have.
I have.
in a way.
But I would love to know, like, because when you first came on, you didn't have your card game, like, Let's Fucking Date wasn't exactly the business that it is today. So how did you make those, like, steps and you pivoted totally? Now you're like a full-blown businesswoman on tour. I mean, you have so many things coming out.
CEO bad bitch.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was about really like deciding like what do I want and like being vocal about it. I feel like we're so, women especially, like, we're always told to like, not be outward about the things that we want in life, because it might come off cocky or arrogant or, people will roll eyes or it's like cringy, like, but I really don't care because it's not their life, it's mine.
Yeah.
So I was very much like, the card game was just like, I started that dating show during the pandemic, LOL, dated 50 guys.
We watched it. We watched
every time.
it.
No.
Loved it.
Crazy. I would never do that again ever in my life.
I think I remember the firefighter. That was like
Yeah.
one episode. The one that
He
took
was
us.
hot.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, Serena went on live stream dates with these guys, and people were commenting, and then you would let the viewers pick your next date.
Yeah.
It was
How did you do that
genius.
during quarantine? I mean, like, that's hard.
Bitch, I was single and jobless.
Yeah, you're like, whatever, I got
time. Like, I had time. And that was really fun. Like, that was like a really good moment, like, of like, learning about myself and dating, which we will definitely discuss because I want to know what's going on.
Are any of those guys like creeping back today and still
Like, I'm
wanting
friends
you?
with some of them, and I think that was like a good lesson where it's like, go on a lot of dates. Like, even if you don't find your person in, a slew of dates, like, you're gonna learn something about yourself. You also could like make friends, and I still am friends with people from the show. I mean, a lot of girlfriends from the show too that were like on the after show.
Oh, right.
And then I created the card game because I wanted to have something that, you could keep in your back pocket, like you carry around literally everywhere.
I love it. If you guys know what the card game is, by the way, it's basically a game that is getting to know someone. There's first, second, third base. Oh, she has
This
it.
is what a
Let me
true
move this
entrepreneur
over.
does. Yeah.
It's so smart.
You gotta bring your product
You guys
everywhere.
need this. When I say it literally goes from like subtle to spicy and also dares, all of his stuff. And it just like you get to know the person on every level, sexually, intellectually, physically.
First
it is
base, second base, third base.
Hashtag ad, hashtag
Thank
sponsored. Thank you so much.
But no, I'm like a huge advocate. I loved it. So I'm not gonna like not promote something I didn't love.
You're so sweet.
But it was so smart because I think a lot of people liked those games, like the We're Not Very Strangers and those things like that. But this is just another extra oomph to it.
definitely.
That just gave it,
works though.
Like, what do you mean by works?
Okay.
Elaborates the scene. What do you
Let
mean
me tell you.
works?
When I was seeing this guy, he had a problem with opening up about like what he likes, even just his personality. It was so hard to get any answers out of him. So one day I surprised him. I brought your card game to dinner and I sat him down and I was like, we're at first base, here we go. And he was like, what the hell is this? I'm like, you're gonna play along. We ended up sitting at dinner for 4 hours and we just kept talking and talking. And we got to know each other on like an emotionally deep level, a sexually deep level, just being compatible in ways that we would have never figured out had it not been for this card game.
Right.
I mean, genius. How did you come up with the idea?
Because, bitch, I was dating so much during the pandemic that I was like, I needed to start writing questions that were like going to be entertaining for the audience and not just like getting to know the person,
So
right?
how are you dating so much during a pandemic? Like, were you on an app? Like, how were you meeting these guys?
It was through my Instagram live dating show, Let's Fucking Date. That's it. Like, I wasn't going on the apps. That was it. Because I also wanted to show the audience, like, hey, or everyone, like, you can, like, dating on FaceTime, like, can be 100% a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not cringy. Because at the end of the day, what are you doing? You're speaking.
Yes.
It's all about
What's
communication.
different? Yeah.
And so I kind of created the game to help people, like, if they were FaceTiming with someone, like, how could it be fun, you know, to do that?
Right.
And then there's obviously other iterations of the game, like sexier versions.
Yeah.
But it's been awesome. Like, I love when I'm, like, in the airport and a girl runs up to me. She's like, look what I brought with me on my trip.
No! Are you kidding? You have this
So
moment?
cute.
I
Yes.
would like die to see those moments.
No, it was
oh my
so
God,
great.
that's
Yeah.
so much fun. And so for people that don't know, how would you describe your brand, Let's Fucking Date?
Let's Fucking Date.
Yeah,
I think it's an extension of the SFK brand, which is Queen of Confidence, like being the main motherfucking character, doing it for the plot.
Yeah.
Just really like realizing that like you live once and, you know, life is just too short to not be absolutely obsessed with yourself.
I love doing for the plot. Can
You
you
love doing
explain
for
a
the
little
plot?
bit what that means
Yeah.
for people?
So Do It For The Plot was an extension of like being the main character, which I'm like, everyone is. Like you just have to access that part of it. And it was really like doing things that make you happy for the story. Just like kind of like, I think that people just get pretty upset about when things don't go their way or they are embarrassed if they like got too drunk one night. And I'm just like, it's for the plot. Like it's for the plot of your life. Think about any character in any movie. They don't it's not all perfect and like daisies. Or what's the phrase?
Sunshine and
Sunshine and roses. Okay, daisies, whatever.
It's just
There
any
you go.
flower.
Any flower.
It's just daffodils.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's not just like that, right? Like we're all gonna have ups and downs. We get rejected, but it redirects us to something better.
Yeah.
And so it's about like being like, fuck it. Like I'm doing it for the plot. Like I'm either gonna like travel, start something new, play the card game with a guy. Like I never play my card game with a guy because it's like, because I'm on the motherfucking box.
Oh my God.
That's true.
That's
Also,
kind of a flex.
you did send us a few like boxes, care packages of goodies, and her face was on a condom.
Oh yeah. I should have brought you more.
By the way,
Now that you're single.
Now she's single.
It's true. By the way, I like don't even want to use it because it's just so cute. Like, I
So
don't-
same.
That's why I'm like, I want to keep it.
Except one night I did, and he was like, "What is that?" And I was like,
Stop.
"It's me."
Wait, did he hate it though? Because I'm like, that's kind of badass.
I mean, he probably hated it because it was a condom, but yes, he loved it, obvi. But I sometimes like I'm reluctant to play, but I did go to Vegas this weekend.
Did you? For what?
Like for work, it was like kind of like a trip with like a lot of creators, and the videographer was there to like take our content, and like we ended up like falling in love, and like we played the game, and the game was so good because there's questions in it that you might not want to like ask, right?
exactly.
Like, you know, how would you describe our relationship in 3 words? I said that to him, and I was like, what is he gonna say? We literally just met.
What did he say?
And he was just like connected, spontaneous, and hopeful, which was so cute.
Wait, that's like the
Nailed
perfect
it.
answer. He's like tequila, SLS pool party,
Wait,
towel group.
that's the best answer.
That's like what I thought. Actually, like maybe.
Yeah.
You're like, that's perfect.
Influencer, take her photo.
Take her photo.
Condom.
Tag me.
I'm dead. But yeah.
That's so fun though.
But it worked.
Yeah.
You know, I just try to hide my face because it's on all of the cards, but I did it. I was just like, this is me. Like, just get with the
Do you
program.
do you guys ever get intimidated because not only are you just such a boss woman, but you're so confident in yourself? Because confidence, I think, definitely intimidates a lot of men.
Right. And this is like something that comes up a lot. I've been working on in therapy because I'm like, do I diminish like my accomplishments, right? Or like, do I like try to not talk about my career too much? You know, there's things that I want, like I try to not do to not like emasculate a man, a straight man in this case. And then I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like, if I'm too much, literally go find less. Like, it's just not my problem. Like,
No,
that's
it's
not my
true.
problem.
It's true.
Like, and I realized I'm like, why am I, like, for example, like, not Vegas guy, because he saw me full SFK, like full persona, full everything,
send.
drunk, like
But
full
can I just
send.
say, I think there's such a power to giving yourself a name when you're having that full send moment. Because it's like I call myself Bambi. I love that you say like
I'm
SFK.
Tina.
Oh,
Like,
but love that you guys have your personas.
Because I'm like, if I'm gonna act a certain way, it's not normally how I am, but it also gives me an excuse to go, this isn't me.
It's
for the
someone
pot.
else.
Like,
For the
that's your pot.
I know. I'm
Oh,
like, for the
1,000.
drama. I'm like, Sistine, I want to just cause chaos this weekend.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah,
and
of
I love that
course.
it's Bambi because that's such like innocent name.
I know,
but it's
that's
like
But she also falls. Like her ankles stop working when she
But
drinks,
it's,
so
not,
they
it's
go
Bambi.
like this.
Bambi has like very weak ankles when she drinks tequila.
oh, Bambi.
falls a lot.
Bambi and Tina, where did Tina come from?
Tina Belcher, because I kind of dance like her from Bob's Burgers.
Not
I love
hot.
how specific these
I know.
names are.
I know. Well, yours is a little sad. But
Yeah, it's not cute. That's definitely for sure. Not cute. Not cute.
But when I the Vegas guy was a full send,
Yeah.
SFK, energy,
Yeah.
whatever. And he also had an alter ego, by the way. I forget what its name was, but like same thing. So he got
yeah.
it.
Oh, perfect.
But typically, like with other guys, sometimes I'm like, do I hide my Instagram story from them? Like I've thought about that. And I've done it. And then I'm like, oh, like it makes me feel like if they can't separate that this is my job and like
Yeah.
there's that persona on the internet, and all of us are playing a persona on the internet
Oh,
that's different
always.
from,
Yeah,
right?
it's a highlight reel.
100%. So if he can't realize that there's a difference between the two, it's not like I'm behind him at Goldman Sachs, like watching him on Excel doing spreadsheets about investment banking, right?
It's
Like
true.
he's literally getting full access to my job. And I think that, before I was trying to hide it, and I think ultimately you need to be 100% yourself. And SFK,
Yep.
Serena, those are like Tina, Bambi, like that's who we
Yeah,
are. And if you
exactly.
can't handle Bambi and Tina and SFK, you can't fucking
can't
handle
do
us.
it.
You
But
can't.
that takes a level of security with yourself that I think a lot of people don't have. So say if what if someone is just a people pleaser or they're wanting validation from other people? It's hard to be your authentic self because you're just trying to make sure that you don't step on any toes, make sure everyone likes me, make sure I'm not acting too crazy. Like what would you give
Right.
advice to someone that is thinking that?
I mean, honestly, like, you're never gonna be happy because, like, not everyone's gonna like you. Think about it, you don't like everyone. There are
Right,
people you've met you that
true.
just you don't like. They rub you
Yeah.
the wrong way, whatever.
right.
You're not gonna like everyone. Not everyone's gonna like you, and
I
that's
know.
totally fine because there's gonna be enough people around you that support you and love you and will give you constructive feedback. But like, it's just a no-win game. I used to be like that. I wanted everyone. I'm an only child, even though now I have 3 sisters. But
Oh, of course. Well, we're all with the first letter S, so it's
so it fits right,
So cute.
right in. But like I was an only child. I always wanted to be liked. Like I wanted friends and I wanted to feel that secureness and like feeling like I just had a community or a family or whatever.
Right.
And then it just like I spent a lot of my childhood crying, like a lot, because
you just wanted-
it's
yeah.
like if someone didn't like me, I couldn't handle it.
That's
and then
how
I was
I
like,
feel now. I feel that all the time. I feel an extreme, like it eats me alive, even if it's my sister or someone I just met. I cannot handle the idea of someone not liking
okay,
me.
but let's pause for a second. Do they actually not like you, or are you projecting your anxiety onto them?
Definitely option B.
Okay, cool.
The
So
latter.
the reason, and we have to go back, we talked about this on the first pod, but you have to go back to you and building the relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
Like when I came in, you hyped me up. Like you obviously give so much love to your sister and everyone around you. You need to give that same love to yourself.
It's hard.
Amen.
Like
Amen.
straight up, like, sorry, business.
No,
Do you call it CEO? No, but I think that we don't do that. It's so
No,
weird,
it's
right? Like, we're
weird.
not taught that.
Yeah.
I know.
If I were to ask you guys, like, how do you demonstrate love to someone? Like, answer the question. Like, how do you demonstrate love?
I would do it by, I like to give advice or I like to just console them if they're ever down. Like that's my kind of thing is nurturing someone.
Okay.
I like to show in ways like, oh, I'll do this for you. I'll help you with that. Like run errands for them.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are, I hear talking, communication, and acts of service or action.
Yeah.
So if we're supposed to love ourselves, why don't we do that to ourselves, right? Like, why don't we
Right.
give advice to ourselves when we're down? Why don't we
Right.
go, and do things for ourselves when we're feeling sad, right? It's almost like we're out of the equation. But if you think about what love is and how to
Yeah.
express it, those are the two things that we know how to do for everyone else, but we don't do it for ourselves. It's so crazy.
No, it's crazy. But then you realize when you find someone, whether it's a guy or your friendship, because I know even with girls, when you are doing a lot of things, you feel almost. Do you ever feel like sometimes when you're succeeding or you're doing something good, you have friends where you don't want to tell that to because you're like, I feel like they're going to judge me or they're not going to be that excited.
Then are they
for me.
really your friend?
Exactly, they're not. But when you actually shift that and you choose people that are wanting to be your support team and they want to be proud of you and they are hyping you up. I feel like that self-love with you actually gets even bigger just because you don't have to worry and
But
the
then
pressure
also,
and
it's
you're
like you
relaxed.
don't want to rely on someone else to
I'm not-
give you that
yeah.
self-love. It starts with yourself.
No, that's
But
true.
You said that
But we're just not taught how to do it.
Exactly. So you said that you cried a lot as a child, and can relate. But you now have this incredible confidence and security with yourself. At what point in your life did that sort of shift for you?
I think it's when I started calling myself SFK, Serena
Yeah.
F and Kerrigan.
What age was that, do you think?
I was when I was 18.
Ooh.
Yeah, like when I got to college.
She
I
became
was
an
like,
adult. She became SFK.
yeah, baby. Couldn't drink yet, but I did become SFK. No, but I got to college and I was like, oh, I was really like, I got that social anxiety of like,
Right.
what if people don't like me? What if, like, I remember I was at the bar and like all the guys, it felt like they were like looking past me, right? Like I felt
Right.
invisible. And I was like, I'm gonna have a really horrendous 4 years of my life here if I can't like feel that validation from within,
Yeah.
because then I'm gonna be like, that guy didn't talk to me. Oh, my night's ruined. Like these girls don't want to be friends with me. It's over. Like, so I was like, what would, like, I literally said, what would SFK do? Like, and I just kept saying to myself, like, you're Serena fucking Kerrigan. Like, you go up to that guy. Like, you, right? But that's what that is. I mean, that's what we do to each other.
No, it's true. And then I actually saw your Wake Up with Elle, and I loved it. And I actually really, really, really loved when you were talking to yourself, like, oh, I'm going to look at myself in the mirror and not think that that person is me.
That's very helpful.
And I loved that.
Way to
because
explain
And
that.
it was, I mean, you can explain it since.
Wait, I
you did
love
it.
that you tuned in. You're so
No,
cute.
I'm so proud of you because it's like, it really, I'm
everything
a
you do,
huge
every
fan.
TikTok, every
No, because
reel, I'm like,
I mean, just because we've seen you from what it was before to
Right.
now, and you are as hardworking as you actually, you'd say that you are hardworking, and it's so true. Because some people are like,
no, it's,
Yeah.
it's
no, you're
incredible the jump you've made in literally 2 short years.
It's crazy, and it's
during
like,
a pandemic. I mean, like,
But no, with the Wake Up with
crazy.
Elle, I mean, she can explain it better, but she was saying that she looked at herself in the mirror and she was like, okay, I'm gonna tell myself all these positive things, like, you're beautiful, go fucking kill it, you're awesome, blah, blah, blah. But don't look at yourself thinking that's you. Pretend you're talking to someone else. It's like another person. Do you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So you disassociate from you kind of cringing at yourself, going like, oh, I'm talking to myself in the mirror.
Nailed
no,
it.
you're talking to a person.
Nailed it. And it's so helpful that like almost it's like terrible phrase, social distancing, but it's like that distancing of self.
Yeah.
That's why it's like if you were just sitting here in a room without a mirror or anything, being like, you're amazing, blah, 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 I'd be like, that's hard to do, right? Like that's weird. But you know how to have a conversation, and you can definitely have a conversation with another person.
Yeah.
So by looking in the mirror, it's like this, yes, it's you, but it's like, it's that kind of
Yeah, exactly.
disassociating that really makes it easier.
Makes it
so
easier.
what does a conversation with yourself look like in the mirror?
I literally did this last night on my Instagram story, but I basically was just saying like, you know, I just said, I love you. I'm proud of you. You know, you don't always have the answers, but you really like think about it critically and you see other points of view, and have a great fucking night. Like tomorrow you have a wake up call, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what it is. But like, what would you say, you know, to your best friend? You know,
It's so true.
when girls ask me advice on Instagram, sometimes literally because I just am too motherfucking busy, and also just to see as a kind of a test, they'll send me legitimately paragraphs, the whole story. And I just go, I literally responded, I said, what would you say to me if I copied and pasted this entire message? What advice would you give to me? And then it's all there. Like all the
then you have the
right? And
answer.
it's the
That's
same
so
thing as the
true.
mirror. It's like the second it's not them, they can see clearly.
Yeah.
It's crazy because they forget that you can give the same advice to yourself.
Are you done chewing, Sophia?
It's not gum.
This isn't ASMR. What are you chewing?
I'm chewing my gummy vitamins because I'm stressed out the fact that we have a bunch of guests today and we have to shoot more tonight.
No,
And
it's a
I'm
lot.
just like,
Wait, how do they taste?
They're
I want
so
one.
good. No,
Yeah?
honestly, they're so good. They kind of taste like a little bit of a Starburst consistency.
Well, let's see. It says chill out, relax, and unwind. Take the edge off. Anytime, anywhere. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Sounds good to me.
I know. And I like anything that can make me calm, taste sweet. Especially after I eat dinner and stuff, I need something like nice.
Yeah, that little sugar kick.
Yeah, especially if you go to bed, you want to feel calm. It's kind of a good.
Well, it's kind of a perfect balance because you're getting that little sugar fix.
Yeah.
And you're getting relaxed before bed. It's kind of the perfect thing.
And you guys, I'm really not kidding when I say they're actually really good. And I'm excited to see how I feel because I am pretty stressed out today. And that's why at least 75-90% of doctor visits are from stress-related issues, which is wild to
That's an
even know
insane
that, yeah.
number. Well, Sophia and I can obviously attest to this. Many of us are operating on survival mode. We expect our skin, our bodies, our minds to thrive, especially being on camera, when honestly we're running on empty all the time.
Yeah, that's why we use Prima, because it's California based and it is a new purpose-led CBD brand that is just targeted to make you feel your calmest and best.
They are dedicated to help you rise above modern day stress so every day is a little bit better. With their doctor formulated, clinically validated, high performance products for the skin, body, and mind.
I want to keep eating these gummies, but if you guys don't know where to start, other than the gummies, which I highly recommend, you can always take their daily capsules that just help you be calm throughout the day. Or if you want, I'm trying to find the name of it. It's called Sleep Tight, because I know that she struggles with this, but we are insomniacs. We don't sleep. So this has been amazing to our sleep pattern.
This is actually the only thing that has worked. And I've tried nearly every product on the market. And Prima's Sleep, CBD, chef's kiss.
So I hope you guys are already convinced enough about this.
And so lucky for us, Prima is offering our listeners an exclusive, limited time 20% off offer with the code UNWAXED.
So please, you guys, do yourself a favor and get calm by going to prima.co and using the code word UNWAXED to get that 20% off limited time offer. Guys, come on. If I'm saying that this tastes like a Starburst,
Yeah. Listen,
and you're going to be calm,
get the relief you guys deserve, and you can feel better every day. Sounds pretty good to me.
You know what, actually, okay, I don't know if you're open to talking about therapy, right?
Of course.
I love the fact that you're so vocal about being so confident, but you're also so vocal about going to therapy. So what, is it because you're trying to also, why do you go to therapy when do you know how that
Because I think that confidence is being your best friend.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Do you always like your best friend? No.
No. Right.
Like she can be fucking annoying. You don't like her outfit. Sometimes she's like, she takes a bad picture of you.
Yeah.
But you always will love her. You know what I mean? And maybe a better use of an example is a sister. I never had a sister. Now I have 3, but I didn't. So best friend was that was a term that I related to. But, it's also confidence is celebrating what you don't know, what you could work on. Because I think a lot of people that are insecure sometimes overcompensate. They're like, I'm perfect. They're cocky. So being like, you know what? I don't really know about this. I don't know if I'm handling it in the best way. Do you have feedback? That's confidence. Realizing that you have things to work on. And that's not, doesn't mean you're the worst person ever, right?
No, it's so true.
So with therapy, I mean, I think therapy is something I've been doing since I was 7 years old. It was just very normalized in my household.
That's really good.
It really is.
Yeah.
Obviously it's a privilege and some people can't afford it. And I think it's getting better now, more normalized, and there's more available programs out there. But it's something that I'm I can't believe people don't do, because it's
Yes. But you know what it is? You don't have to hit rock bottom to go, I need help.
But the fact that people still think that.
That therapy is the last case scenario, the last resort, the last Hail Mary. When
It's 45 minutes to talk about yourself. Everyone loves to talk about themselves.
Oh my God. If I can vent to my friends about myself for hours, I'd be like, I have so much unpacked.
Exactly.
Do your followers question? They're like, okay, well, Serena has it all figured out. She has confidence. Why would she need to go to therapy?
I don't think they've ever brought that up, because it's therapy, I mean, a lot of what therapy is realizing how your upbringing in your childhood has really impacted behaviors in your life, right? If a guy rejects me and I start crying and spiraling, whatever, maybe that has to do with something in growing up where I saw that action happening, taking place in front of me, and I internalized it, whatever, right? It's really almost we're all puzzles, and it's why are we built this way? I think that's what therapy is. So having the confidence to be I'm curious, I want to be better. If I get upset and raise my voice, where did I learn that behavior? How can I stop doing it? And I think that's what that is, right?
Therapy definitely brings parts out of you that you would have never admitted to yourself. I love it. I'm new at it. So it's been really, really amazing for me. You know so much. And you're literally an encyclopedia of just knowledge about self-love and confidence. Did you learn a little bit of that from therapy, or did you have sort of a mentor that you looked up to?
I feel you're just very self-aware.
Yeah, was there someone that you're I love what they're preaching, and someone you followed for a long time?
Yeah, my mom.
Oh.
Literally.
Your mom is a badass.
Bad bitch.
We love her.
No, when I was 8 years old, she hung up. We shared a bathroom growing up, okay? Which now I'm literally how? But whatever, it worked. And we shared a shower, and she hung up in the shower this shower curtain, which I kind of want to recreate for my brand at some point. But who has shower curtains? I feel no one has them.
Not really, but
maybe college kids,
someone.
But it said naked and happy, I love me, me,
Oh,
me,
I love
me.
that.
Like, and it was like that kind of subliminal messaging that I thought, like when I was growing up, I didn't think of anything of it, but I think that was like the kind of household I grew up in. Was was confident, was loving yourself, and like, and I think that was, she. When you go through puberty, when the boys don't like you, I'm to this day. Like, I have therapy after this podcast.
We love
Yesterday, I went on a date. Like,
we're gonna unpack that too. Yeah.
It's like not even about confidence. It's like, I'm going to therapy because I want to talk about this date I went on versus the guy that I met in Vegas because love that I'm just spilling the tea here.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, there were pros and cons to both.
Right.
And why am I being drawn towards someone versus the other?
Right.
I'm very curious to kind of figure that out.
Are you curious about the fact that why are you so interested in this person when you should be interested in that?
I don't like to say should, but yeah,
you're
one of
like
them is
surprising
completely
yourself.
unavailable in
Yeah.
a different state, and one of them's in New York. Well, why am I
Leaning
towards
unavailable?
Is it because we like the unavailable, the bad guy, or is it that maybe the other guy just wasn't a fuck yes? So
Exactly. No, sometimes you don't even realize the type that you like until
Wait,
you
I want
actually
to
meet
hear
them.
about your date
Yeah,
yesterday.
so let's unpack the date.
and I want to
because-
hear what you're.
I know.
Yeah,
let's
let's
just talk
talk
about
about all
dating
of
in
it.
general. Because currently you guys were in New York, and you would think the dating scene would be easy, but according to you, it's pretty difficult in New York.
I think it's difficult everywhere. I think that after the pandemic, when everything was about virtual dating, there was a shift. Like before before the pandemic, I felt like you would be like, are you on the apps? Now it's like, if you're single, like, you're on the apps.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
100%.
Like literally, how else do you meet
No,
people?
but people forget how to socialize, or if people
That's
have to
true,
go. It's literally
honestly.
everyone has to relearn how to talk.
Fully. And I also think that guys are very intimidated to approach women now in bars or out because the app is so safe for them.
It is so
You know what I
simple.
mean?
It's a guarantee. It's going like, okay, she for sure wants to talk. People kind of use these dating apps as a security blanket.
Fully. Like, because think about it, like, you don't know if you get rejected. Like,
Right.
that's so epic for a guy.
But I feel like a guy could easily reverse this dialogue and say, well, why don't you come up to us and say something? But then I feel like girls have the sort of stigma that, oh, you're so aggressive or you're too sexual or like, you know what I mean?
Well, that's interesting because I feel like if a guy does approach me at a bar, I'm kind of like, ew, actually fuck
That's
off.
how
So,
I-
it's a double standard. Sorry, it sucks to be a guy.
It's so, it honestly is so
We
true.
want
Like,
both. We want neither.
pre in a relationship, every time a guy approached me, if it wasn't someone I was like staring at and we
Or
were making, you know what I'm
attracted
saying?
to.
You're just
Then,
like, ick.
ew. But I was totally fine. I mean, I don't know if you guys were like this, but I don't mind going up to someone and saying like, hey, what's up? And it's totally normal. Do you ever
Yeah.
go up to people when you're interested in them?
Like, no.
I'm too
I
Never?
fuck the shit out of them and then they come over.
Oh,
Does that make
smart.
sense? Actually, no, wait, guys, actually, wait.
She was like, yes.
Wait, actually,
I understand smart.
Well, I think it's all about context. Like, I think when I was in Vegas, I just went on the trip, and the videographer on that trip was very, like, gorgeous and, like, wasn't really talking to any of the girls. And I was with, like, a group of 10 girls, right?
Yeah.
So, like, talking to no one, and then everyone was like, he's so hot. And I was like, yeah, damn. And then,
you're like,
but I was like,
yeah.
why isn't he coming over? And I was like, he must have a girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Right, of course.
And then finally, like, it was just too many hours together, and I literally was just like, I'm like, hey, come over. Like, what's your story? And he sat down, and we chatted forever, and then, like, boom, like, it
It
went
just
from there.
happened, yeah.
But it's like, so that was the time I did approach, but it was like within the context of work versus like being at like a bar downstairs in a basement where it was like.
It's
Then
in the
again,
basement.
do you want to meet your, like, where did you meet your,
Oh no, I met him on a double date, but like that's the thing is no, it's fine.
Technically, it was double date.
I actually prefer like I liked that we met like in that kind of organic way because I wouldn't want to meet him in like the basement of Acme. I'm sorry, like that's a fun place, but you can't see anybody and it's just like
100%,
and my persona in a way is a totally different mindset than how I am when I'm sober. Do you know what I'm
which is good.
Which is great because
we
I
love.
think Bambi would probably
Well,
not
I'd
just
hope so.
Yeah.
Bambi wants to meet her boyfriend at Acme.
Bambi
sure.
yeah, but you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's just
Fully. And I think that a lot of women are like, where do I meet guys IRL? Like, where do I meet the women?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you know what I started to do? I started to visualize, like, where would I want my future person to be?
Right.
Is it
Library.
downstairs at Acme? You want them at the library?
She does, for sure.
I mean,
But you're not finding it cute.
Okay,
But
fine.
actually, though, like, because like,
like,
I don't know if like
it
on
would
a
be like-
Saturday day and
Yeah,
night
no.
they're at the library, like, that's fucking weird.
No, that'd
But,
be
like,
weird. I
You know,
would be
like,
confused.
I love that, like, you know, I was thinking, like, I would like to meet them maybe in a work environment so they understand, like, my career and my vibe, right?
Yes, you want someone that is maybe not even in the same field, but still has the drive
how-
that you know that you have.
How did you meet this guy that you went on a date with last night?
So I met him on Hinge.
How do you like Hinge?
Ooh, do you like Hinge?
Do you have a
I mean,
good
guys,
profile?
Like, of course I have a great profile.
What's your song?
Please.
No,
so
it's
on
not
Hinge, there's no
Riot.
song.
Oh, right.
Riot's Tusa. But Karol G and Nicki Minaj. Dun, 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 dun. I know, I can't. Like,
so
yeah,
funny.
It's too much. Whatever. Rye's difficult because there's not many prompts. Like, you can't, there's nothing to like
just
banter off of. And
6 photos.
it's like, hey.
Do you do the talking part for Hinge?
No,
I would say
that's for the other
Hinge.
one.
No.
Hinge.
Yeah,
Is that
Hinge
Hinge?
is, yeah.
Hinge is talking too.
I hate
But you're
So you can do the voice note, and
Yeah.
it's like the cringiest thing ever that guys
Hate.
do it. They're like, I'm like, literally, why are you speaking?
Sophia and I hate when a guy sends a voice note. We're like,
Well, I think it's actually,
No.
honestly, the best way to just kind of like power through. Like, you
That's
know who's
true.
the freak.
I feel
if
like
they
the
voice note.
only people that hate voice notes.
Like,
Everyone else likes them.
I do like voice notes, but I just, it's annoying. It is annoying.
It depends on the person that's sending the voice.
100%.
You know?
And like sometimes it's just better to get it out.
Yeah. That's
Maybe I
fair.
like giving them, not receiving. I'm a giver.
I'm a giver.
So this guy, we matched, and then I kind of like, it's difficult. There's so many options. Obviously, everyone swipes right on me. Obviously.
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 If you're not saying it, it
you're
won't
showing up
happen.
like this,
it's happening.
obviously.
Yeah, me on Hinge. This is how
I
I
would
show
love.
up.
I would love you to show up on a date like this, like baby.
No, definitely not. But honestly, I heard wearing a bold color on a first date is the move.
It is. A good
I
thing.
love
I never do that
you.
because I'm, like a New
I'm
Yorker
black.
and I'm always
That's
black.
it.
But
Yeah.
for you guys, this isn't our first date though.
It's not our first date. This
Right?
is our
Second
second
date.
date.
Exactly.
Well,
Second
of
date,
course.
It's going great. So, I match with a lot of guys. There's fun banter. There's some, but like it's very difficult to get on the date, right?
Yeah.
Like to really like go, and I felt like it was funny enough that I was like, okay, we'll be able to have a good conversation.
What made you hesitate?
Because I think that I was in a place of my life and like I kind of ghosted him for like 2 months on the app. Like and then I was
feel
like,
like-
hey, like resurrected
yeah.
bitch. But like, I think I was at a point in my life a couple months ago where I kept telling myself like, it's not the right time. Like your career.
Right.
And I was like, but people have great careers and partners. And I think like,
Thank you.
Yeah, people think you have to pick one.
Do you know what's so funny is that was
Yeah.
my biggest fear in life was that I would have to choose one or the other. I'm like, I either can be in a great relationship and like have my kids and be married and whatever and have like a lottie-dottie thing, but then also like I wouldn't be able to have like this really aspiring career
That's
because
what I've
you
been
want.
telling myself.
But it's also the career that we're in, which is like what freaks me out. You're like you're up in front and center 24/7. You're like your career is entertainment, and
Right.
so you're very outspoken, but it's also a lot of travel. And you're like, how can I balance? Can I find someone that has that?
well, I think that
know?
I would have to find someone extremely independent that has their own
Yeah,
friends, that has their own life, that
exactly.
isn't like a needy little bitch, which
Yeah.
I've dated many before. And it's
Yeah.
like they just like hold on and like
Yeah.
that's not my vibe. There are people that like love being
Right.
codependent, like that's their energy.
Is this guy a driven person?
So the guy from Hinge, like he ended up being driven.
Okay.
He works in television, which was like okay.
Oh, okay, cool, relatable.
Honestly, relatable. Check.
Check. I
be
mean,
honest-
I'm like, okay, he's in
Yeah.
television, perfect.
No, but it really
TV,
though.
yeah.
He, the As of K thing kind of got brought up. Like he was
okay.
he was talking about doing due diligence before date, like Googling the person. To be honest, I didn't even Google him. I didn't fucking care. Like
Yeah,
I
you're
was
like, I was just
You don't do the background
like,
check.
like, okay, I feel like bad saying this, but like no. Like
I
feel
don't
like,
either, and
like,
I
I
don't
do.
either.
You do?
Yeah.
I never do.
I
now,
should.
Now I think I should.
But New York is
Better.
like very busy and like I feel like
No, it's
what?
true.
Like he's not
No,
gonna
I
bring
know.
me to an alley. But maybe
No,
I should.
no,
But I
no.
kind of was just like, okay, he like went to a school and like it felt fine.
Yeah.
And then but he said he did. Due diligence. So it was kind of like, oh yeah, what'd you hear? And he was like, oh, that you have a card game. Like my girlfriends love you. They're fit. Okay, great.
Oh,
so,
cool,
but
okay.
it was actually great that it was like the first day where like I wasn't embarrassed. He totally
already
got it.
Yeah, he got your
Yeah.
vibe. Yeah.
Listen, he checked a lot of boxes, but
What was it?
I just don't think. I just came back from Vegas where
Yeah.
I like.
You're in love with the videographer.
It's just like
There was a spark there that
Next
you didn't
time,
have with
like I
this
think
guy.
that maybe if it was a spark. It was like
Yeah.
a connection that was like like we didn't have that much in common. I mean, yes, a videographer, video,
Right,
whatever.
right.
So fucking hot. But it was just like there was a connection there. It was like unspoken. This
I-
other guy, it's like everything was check. But then it was like,
Yeah.
I didn't want to fuck his brains out.
But maybe
Exactly. No, but honestly, you can feel it. Like there is a difference between someone that you're like,
But I think what I'm hearing from this videographer guy in Vegas is that he left some things for you to figure out. Like there was some mystery. Whereas this other guy basically came in knowing everything about you, so there's nothing much left to share.
Yes and no. Like, I mean, we did, that's what dating is, like getting to
Yeah,
know one another.
exactly.
It was more him. He was just like, oh, it made me question, like, do I want someone that's like very much in the New York City world, that we go to the same restaurants and same places,
Yeah.
and his friend groups and mine would probably merge really nicely and like
Yeah.
similar upbringing? Or do I actually want someone that's more outsider? Because my parents were very much outsiders. They didn't grow up in the US. So it's like, I think that actually that's
Why you're attracted to this other guy.
But all really good questions to be asking yourself when you go on these dates. It's not necessarily like, oh, I didn't like him. It's like, why? Like, literally think about what was it? Like, to be honest with you, when he was kissing me, I was like a little like, it
was okay. And that's fine.
No, but you should feel sport. I mean, I'm not saying that it's like, it should be knocking off your heels, whatever.
But why not?
I'm a bitch.
But bitch, why not?
Mine did. So
that's what I'm saying.
I knew, but that's it. And I dated a lot. I was single for 3 years. And when I met my current boyfriend, I was like, this is so different. And he was living in New York, I'm in LA. I'm like, and I love the newness of both of them because I don't know shit about New York. And
but you will now.
Now I do. I'll be back, baby. I'll be in Acme. But that's the thing. And it's like, I think that you just know innately. I think you also know yourself very well more than, like, yes, there's things you need to figure out. We're all fine-tuning every single day. But I think in your gut of guts, your body literally naturally responds to someone that you're like, this is your person. And maybe the videographer is not your person soulmate.
But maybe he is.
Maybe he is.
Ooh, but never.
But it also shows you like, okay, I need to feel this reaction, not this. Like this guy could be a friend, like the one in New York.
I think women have really good intuition and gut instinct of what they want. But I also love that you posted recently, I think it was a reel, of things that you were like, absolutely not if he has. So let's go the opposite. You put up like a list of, I think one of them was it like flat shoes? Like, can you
just like my fuck nose?
Your fuck nose, yeah. What are some of your fuck nose?
The flat shoes is for me. You know, I love a heel. But for dating guys, well, I think like, you know, it's interesting. I think sexual attraction is really important. And I love that that we called you out because you're like, you don't have to get swept off your feet. Like, I think that's the thing. I think women settle.
That's true.
Like, why not? Like, wait for that really right person.
And I'm preaching something opposite when I literally had that experience.
It's fine, which is fine because I think it's like we want you want me to win. So you're like, well, maybe.
It's okay.
And I think that a lot of people, before this, I was talking to my friend about it, they're like, well, you just are going after the bad guy and you just want, like, the good guy's too good, it's too easy, whatever. I'm like, no. Like, I think that we have good gut and it was not a fuck yes. It was a yes caps, but there was no fuck.
Yeah.
She said it was a yes caps, but there wasn't a fuck.
That was such a great answer.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sorry, but like, don't force it. You know what I mean?
Don't force it.
Like, I feel like also, you know, he's really adamant about seeing me again. And I partially am like, no, because I don't want to waste his time. Like, I already know that it's no. But then I'm like, well, he did want to take me out to dinner and like,
see, that's nice. Now you're going, okay, it'd be nice. But do you now want to waste your time and like go for something that you're not even going to pursue? So it's like,
let's talk about my situation because I feel like I'm kind of relating to all of this currently.
Please. That's what I'm here for.
Basically, I sometimes don't evaluate in the moment what I really want, and then it gets too far gone, and you're like, oh shit, now I'm like way too deep into this. I realize this isn't my person. We aren't that compatible. Like, what can I do before to sort of avoid that? Because I never really have that conversation with myself to say like
chasing the wrong thing.
Well, like if there is a red flag, I'm not like, that's a fuck no. I'm like, well, that's a hard maybe.
Okay,
we can
so
fix.
wait. So this is what I do. I start writing down a list.
I write the list later.
No. Right. You write it in the moment. All the little things that are like, didn't love that. Because wouldn't he, like, I think that, you know, we tend to idealize anyone we're dating. Like, after the second date, I'm like in love. And I'm like, bitch, I don't even know him yet. So it's like, start just like literally, like, you have to train yourself to just start writing it down. Okay. And like, because ultimately you want to be with your person, right? Yeah. Like, even if it might suck and they're so close. Like, I feel like the guy from last night, it was like, he was at maybe like 85%, 90 maybe. Yeah. But if he's not 100.
No, it's not worth it.
And granted, it was one date, right? Like, I don't even know him.
So true.
Also, on dates, we're presenting the best versions of ourselves, right? So it's like, that's the thing too. Like, you're gonna go on a date, you're gonna turn it on. So I think that, but also, yes, I think writing down the icks, writing down the fuck no's, writing down the things that like maybe are like, meh. Yeah. It's not a deal breaker, but I don't love
giving
this.
Even like a second chance if you're like, there's these things that I don't.
It depends what the things are.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be honest. Like, if it's like he had ugly shoes, like, you can fix that. You just buy him new shoes for his birthday.
We can fix that.
You know what I mean?
So now what do I do about getting over the breakup? Like, moving on.
Rejection is redirection. You're going to meet your person and you're going to be like, oh my God, this is why it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And ultimately, if you have to beg or fight for a relationship, it's never going to work out.
Right.
Yeah.
Ever.
Right.
Ever.
I know.
Like, if you have to beg and convince and be like, why aren't you fighting for us? Bye.
That's so true.
That just
You
made
did
me-
post this thing about the expired milk, and it was so genius. Wait, can you
literally quote everything I make. It makes me so happy.
Do you remember it like verbatim? Because I would love for you to like say it.
Basically, like, you know, when a relationship is over, you know, it's the equivalent of milk being expired. Do you put the milk back in the fridge and expect it to be fresh again? Or do you just toss it and move the fuck on and buy new milk? Like, it's done. Like, he's expired. He's done. He's cottage cheese. He's like moldy right now. It's over.
He ate almond milk. He's definitely like 2%.
He's done. Oh my God, whole.
Gives me stomach aches.
Yeah, no. Okay?
Floating.
It's done.
Yeah.
And he's moldy. It's not even milk anymore. It's like, it's not even, and it's done.
It's just heartburn.
Right? There you go.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So, it's like, it's better to move on. There are 7 billion people on this planet. You're going to find your person.
Yeah.
Stop wasting your fucking time.
Amen.
It's done.
true.
It's done. It's over.
You too.
Me fucking too.
Yeah, you too. With
Not
this
even a
guy-
question. Not even a question. And I think a lot of the pressure that we put on ourselves, it comes from media and maybe our friends that are in relationships and like, oh my God, like there's no timeline. Like the people that seem the happiest could end up getting divorced in 2 years.
Yeah,
Like, you just never know. Just focus on your journey. But like once it's broke, it's broken. It ain't fixing.
Yeah.
It's expired.
Yeah.
It's flat. The bubbles are gone. Done.
I'm like Bob the Builder trying to fix all these men.
But I think really too.
and I don't know how to use tools.
Yeah, I mean, neither do I. Ew. But I think too, something that you need to think about is like how much of this relationship and the ending and him not wanting to fight it is the validation that you need from him versus finding it from yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if you are such a fan of mine, you got to start talking to yourself in the mirror. Wait, I'm hoping you do it a little bit. It needs to be all the
do
time.
it zero. And so I need to.
We've known each other for 2 years now.
And she hasn't done it once. And she quotes your milk story and you don't even talk to yourself.
No,
have
honestly,
to.
I watch your content and I love it because I could see such authenticity and like everything you say is so genuine with such purpose behind it. And I'm like, wow, I love it. It's so inspiring. And then I'm like, I don't know why I don't ever apply it.
Okay, well, you're applying it today.
Yes,
Like we're gonna go to the bathroom and do it.
yes.
Like it's just like it's not that scary. You've done way harder shit in your life.
It's true.
Yeah, so
It's true.
you're chasing too much of like, I want to be in love than saying like, I want to be in love with the right person for me. And that there's a
I need
total
to be in love
difference.
with myself.
And that's and that's
Fall in love
where
with yourself first.
And that's where the whole thing of I'm gonna just like downplay what this guy is like. Oh, he has this, but maybe I can just fix him. Like, no. You're gonna want to find someone that you fall in love with because
I'm gonna date myself.
But I'm telling you, that's when it happens.
Yeah.
Because then you're so happy with your life and yourself that like whoever comes better be an 11 out of 10. If not, it's like, bye. Like, I'm happy. I don't need you. I have my friends, I have my family, I have SFK.
So
Exactly.
thank you so much. I needed to hear that. I feel like there is no proper timeline to start dating after you've broken up with someone.
Yeah.
But honestly, I feel kind of weird jumping back to the dating scene, and I would love your advice on how to nail a first date. Like, what do you wear?
What do you order?
Do you order like a certain amount of
drink-wise?
drinks? Like
Absolutely, yes. What do I wear? Last night I wore a blazer,
hot.
a bralette,
Love.
and like pants, but his blazer was like open.
So
like
this
boss
but black.
woman.
But this but black and like,
Boss.
yeah, boss.
Oh my God, you're like, this is a job interview, not a date.
He actually said that at one point because I was like hounding him with questions. Oh, this is something that
Someone said that to me too. One time I was on a date and I asked them a lot of questions with their family life because I'm curious. I'm also doing a slight background check.
He's like, I'm
mentally.
trying to get like 23andMe.
And the
together.
guy ended the date going like, I thought I was being interviewed for a job. And I was like, this is the job.
So I actually
And I
I
was
commend
so-
you for doing that. And I actually saw someone talk about this recently. Yeah, the first date is that you let them you get everything out of them.
true.
Then the
Yes.
second date they can ask you anything they want.
Yeah.
But like get it out, find out, do the background check, everything.
you.
Like there's a lot to figure out about someone if you want to see them on another date. Something else, 2 drinks and ditch. Always.
2 drinks and ditch.
Like,
so
done.
don't even
Not
do dinner.
dinner,
last
just drinks.
Like dinner on a first date? How hungry are you?
Oh, but see, this is LA doesn't do that. LA is like,
But
you
we
don't.
should demand it. I'd rather get a coffee than a full 2-hour dinner.
A coffee would stress me out.
Anything.
But I have Bailey's in it. I can't do like
Yeah,
a,
I mean, you just put it in the bathroom, it's fine.
yeah, exactly. Like,
But like, oh
Pick me
wow,
up,
LA,
right.
that's so interesting. No, maybe a hike would be better. Like, or is that like not safe?
oh my God,
you're stuck on
me
a
being
mountain.
sweaty.
No,
and
no,
No
okay, you're
service
right,
and you're stuck on a
No,
mountain.
actually, like brutal.
No,
That's-
I would
yeah.
rather have dinner for 2 hours.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. I guess you should definitely bring the card game then, in case you're like stuck.
That is a good
I think
idea.
like honestly, if it really is that vibe in LA, which I didn't know,
Yeah.
it's really interesting to me. I feel like it might be wise to get on the phone with them beforehand and FaceTime them. Be like,
Yeah.
can we FaceTime?
I
Because
love
if not,
that.
how the fuck are you gonna like sit there for
Right.
2 hours if you absolutely have no
I
like
love
chemistry,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
I would still cap it at 2 drinks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think so,
Dinner
too.
or not. You know, like last night he was like, I would have a 3rd. And I was like, respectfully, no. Because like I was like,
how did you approach that? Do you actually say respectfully?
no. I was just like, I'm waking up tomorrow really early to work out, which was
Okay.
true. And I always book a workout class the next day super early.
That's so smart.
So it's like, even if I'm having the best time, you leave mystery. Like, leave them wanting more.
That is Such a
That's so
hack.
smart.
That is such a hack.
And then you never feel guilty about like making up some crazy story about like a cat being, you know,
I
stranded on the
always
highway.
think of an
God, that's
insane
genius.
story.
No. Yeah.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah. Always,
really good
always
idea.
the Pilates class at like
So
7 a.m.
2-drink cap, Pilates at 7 a.m.
Bring the card game in
Bring the
case you're
card
like
game
really.
and wear a blazer and a bralette.
Wear whatever makes you feel like a boss bitch
Yeah.
and a baddie. You know what I mean?
What
Without
mom always
showing
says.
too much.
My mom always says, go to your go-to outfit that makes you feel the best. And
Yeah.
it doesn't
Like,
matter
you
if
always know what mine is,
Exactly.
so.
But you always have to go for that because then you don't even think about how you're feeling. Because I know one of the worst things that we do sometimes is we put on an outfit and we're like, we don't feel that good in it.
Yeah.
And then the whole fucking night you're thinking about that outfit.
Yeah.
And no
Yeah.
one gives a shit what you're
No,
wearing
no.
at
Yeah.
all. They're thinking about what they're wearing. But you're still stuck in your head. So your personality, everything just alludes that you're not that confident. So when you're going on a date, just choose the thing that makes you feel like this is it. Like I'm owning this room. Even if
Done.
you're not, but like you
Done.
think you are. So it's good.
100%.
Right.
It's about you feeling good.
Speaking of feeling good, you have always been so vocal about self-pleasure, self-love, and I really, really love that because I think a lot of people are super hesitant about like where to start. And I know that we had a Girls Gotta Eat come on before, and they've always been very vocal.
They
about
brought us
sex and dating.
vibrators. It was
I know it was
fabulous.
so much fun. So how did you feel like that was something you wanted to get into? Because I know that it's something that's very taboo and which is crazy.
And personal. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people would be like, I don't want anyone to know what I do in my bedroom.
Well,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, I started like humping things when I was like 4 years old.
I think we all did. I think
Yeah.
every girl did.
Yeah, every girl did, but didn't really know that.
Know that they were doing it.
Like,
yeah.
but it was like a problem. Like
Oh, your parents were like, this is
no, like it's my teachers were like in preschool were like, we need to talk about your daughter.
Stop.
And they were like, what? And I was
not
like,
coloring.
Right,
She's not coloring.
she's not staying in between the lines, okay? But yeah, no, I was really obviously like really in tune with my body from a young age. Also really fucking bored because I was an only child. So it was like talk
Right.
to myself in the mirror or like masturbate. Like there was not much
There was
room
not
for
much.
anything
You're like,
else.
what can I make myself feel the best?
It was like
Like-
imaginary friend and masturbate.
It was productive,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I think that like when I went to college, I obviously stopped humping surfaces in like
Yeah, you're
public
like,
places.
I think my
Right.
college professor's not going to be into it.
I think she outgrew
No,
it.
I grew like quite quickly.
Why are you humping my desk?
Right. No, but in college, I like remember talking to my girlfriends about it, and some of them were like, "I've never masturbated in my life," or someone's like, "I've never had an orgasm," and I was
yeah,
like, "Oh my god!" And I think part of the reason this was happening, or like I have sex and my boyfriend like has never made me come, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like it's because we're not talking about it.
Right.
Because once you realize, like, hey, it's normal to
Yeah.
hump things. It's normal to expect to have pleasure and to
Yeah,
come in
yeah,
a relationship.
yeah.
Like those are things that like you wouldn't know unless like you had people telling you. So I was
Yeah.
like, I need to be that person. And I
Right.
just like don't think there's any shame in it.
There isn't a shame in it. You know what's crazy is that when I got
What's
to
wrong
college,
with feeling good?
like my parents never taught me anything. I don't know if your mom was vocal about it or anything, but a lot of people just don't know where to start or what to grab or how to do it. And then
Right.
you realize in college, like maybe you'll have that one friend that just like figured it out because she was just really curious or she had girlfriends that taught her. But I know like in any instance, I've met so many people like, I just don't know. I'm scared to buy that like little thing. Like which one do I?
But, like that's so sad.
I know.
like,
it's-
literally.
yeah.
Because I think like ultimately self-pleasure is like the ultimate act of self-love, right?
Right.
It's like you giving yourself like pleasure. Like
Right.
no one else is giving it to you, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that I think in a way is like a really like a great confidence thing as well.
Do you guys get intimidated at the fact that you do that?
That I masturbate?
I feel like
Or
they
like, better
love
fucking
it.
not.
I feel like they would love it.
I mean, like
Or bring it into the bedroom because I know that sometimes
no,
that is
yeah.
like
I mean,
a-
if it like I know a lot of guys that love it, and the guys that have been like, "What?" Like, bye. Like,
No, it's-
literally, bye. Why? It's like helping you out. You can do less work. Like, you have a little
Yeah.
machine. This little robot.
I know if you
little
ever
iPhone
compare
orgasm.
yourself,
I know, but if some,
know,
you
it's
know,
like-
sometimes guys are like, I feel emasculated, and
It's for them. For
Oh.
guys. It's so hard to be a guy.
like, why are you comparing yourself to a robot? Like, come
so
on.
like,
funny.
you
Like if we could
know,
take the batteries out. it's
Yeah, and
fine.
if that's something that you don't feel comfortable doing until you have a boyfriend, then like that's totally fine as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
But I think it's also like they're even getting an orgasm from a guy, like you have to communicate what you want, what you like.
Yeah.
And like I just want to help women give the tools to do that. And I think a lot of it really just has to do with shame.
What's like the biggest question you get about that stuff, like sex and love and self-pleasure?
Like I just think it's like, how do I unlearn the shame that like maybe my parents taught me
Yeah.
if they're religious or whatever
Yeah.
it may be. And I'm just like, let's think about what sex is. One, it gives you two things, pleasure
Right.
and a miracle of life.
Right.
So I'm like,
Literally.
who wrote this narrative
Right.
and making it this like horrific act, especially when women do it. When men do it, it's fine. But when women do it, it's like they're sacred, they're virgin, they're pure, it's bullshit.
Right.
So I was just saying, like, really think about like where it comes from and what sex is and how it's really like a love language, and it's a beautiful thing if it's done consensually between like two people,
I love that.
Yeah.
You're calling it a love language. That's
Yeah.
really beautiful.
I
But
love
that's
that.
what it is. I
It
told
is
that to my
that.
Nana, and she was like, "Oh my god, I love that."
Hear me? I was so
know,
cool.
I know.
Okay,
Oh my
to
gosh.
wrap up, I really just want to talk about very quickly your tour.
Yes.
Oh my god, that was so sick.
First of all, fucking amazing. You did a 90-minute set.
Yeah. Comedy,
Memorized.
baby. All memorized. 4 outfit changes. Like so sick.
Okay.
How
We're
long
bringing
did
it
you
to LA.
write that?
Like,
I got
Yeah.
COVID, honestly, and I wrote it in a week. But it was the most productive I've ever been ever being
Wow.
sick. It was just like I was asymptomatic, and I was just like, we're doing it. Like, talk about you always have to take advantage of the time you have, right?
When you have time off, yeah.
Oh, and I just like, I really wrote about the name of the show is Do It for the Pot. So I wrote about basically the show is how to become the main fucking character of your life. And it's split up into 5 sections with all my SFKisms like rejection's redirection.
Yeah.
If it's not a fuck, yes, it's a no.
Yeah.
Being alone doesn't mean being lonely.
Oh, we always say that.
Right?
Yeah.
And et cetera. And like they're all my stories. And
Yeah.
it's showing you that like, no matter how embarrassing or shitty or amazing or anything might be, it's like a part of the story of your life.
Yeah.
And if you can like learn to shift your mind like that,
Yeah.
it just becomes super fun.
did you feel like an absolute rock star?
No.
Like, what did you feel
You guys
like?
are gonna die when you see the show. Like,
When are you coming to LA?
Can you bring me on stage?
no, 1,000%. We should absolutely do
'Cause
that.
I know I saw you bring girls to like talk to themselves on stage. I would love
And
to be
they
one of the
would
audience
I would
members.
do it. I
Please.
need it.
We're not waiting until LA for you to start talking to yourself in the mirror.
You're different.
My
You
first
guys
time talking
do
to
it.
myself is on stage. I'm like,
No, literally, but girls would do that. They would start bawling on stage.
Because you don't realize like how many people are going through it and they don't feel that confident and they don't even realize they don't talk to themselves.
Right, and it's free,
And you're
painless,
with yourself
easy.
every day forever and ever and ever.
Serena, do you realize that you're changing people's lives? Like, do you ever like remind yourself that?
I just wanted to become the person that I wish I had when I was little.
Right.
Right. Like I had
Right.
my mom, but like it's your mom. Like she's gonna
different.
love you. It's unconditional.
Yeah.
I wanted, like I didn't have a sister. I didn't have someone being like, you got this. And like
Yeah.
I just became that person. So am I proud? Yes, but I don't feel like I'm changing people's lives. I'm just giving them the tools so they can change their own.
Right.
So let's go buy a mirror because we're giving it to you so you can change your life. Okay?
Mic drop. Serena, I could literally talk to you for hours.
That was
love you guys.
epic.
Okay.
Epic.
Before we wrap, tell everyone your social
Yeah.
medias, your tour, where
Plug
they can find
everything.
Yes.
your card game.
Let's
everything.
fucking date.com. You guys need it. It's gonna be epic. Like literally, it's gonna change your life. We have Let's Fucking Date, Let's Fucking Fuck, Let's Fucking Play. My plot line. No, my tour, Do It for the Plot. We're gonna come to LA, I think, in the fall. So obviously, you guys are gonna be VIP front row.
Please.
You have to dress up like a main character. So
yeah, of course.
better start playing those outfits
We're
now.
gonna
Yes,
show
yes.
up. I'm not gonna
yeah.
wear black.
Yay, I love you guys so much. I'm so proud of you.
love you.
It's so crazy because from going from Zoom to this, I mean, you guys are pros. Like, you were amazing before, but like, there's a confidence that you also have doing this podcast that is very different.
Thank
I think
you.
that it really.
We've literally had 80 episodes, over 80 episodes
is-
in between yours. And I
So
just,
yeah.
the fact
we were waiting till the moment that we would have like, okay, this
No,
is
but
legit. But we're gonna bring it back and like get around
says
to.
a lot that you, and it still means so much to Sophia and I today, the fact that you came on our show when
Yeah.
it was not even a show.
Seriously.
It was
course.
non-existent. You took the time and you gave such good advice and you taught Sophia and I how to be a better podcaster, just the way. We learned so much from you and the fact that we're here in New York doing it again.
And we're
80
your
episodes
biggest
later.
fans.
I
We're
love you
still
both so
supporting
much.
you.
You're literally the sisters I never had. I really do love you so much.
And we love
her.
you guys.
Thank you for watching.
We'll see you next week.
Cutting me off.
Okay, bye.